Hi everyone, welcome to my channel, Liliveth Tate channel. Hello, how is everybody in the world today, tonight, in your time? So, mega love shout out to all my members, viewers here in the Philippines and abroad. And mega love shout out to all my new subscribers who subscribe my channel and to all my super chatters and donators. So thank you so much, guys, for giving me support and of course sharing your blessing to my channel. So thank you so much for that. Mega love shout out to you, Joe. Verna vibes. Verna. I don't know how to pronounce your. So guys, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. So this is a weekdays update on my channel. So today is 7:45 a.m. Philippine time, and May 7, 2025. So, so guys, don't forget to write it down what country you're from or city. Is your life treating you is is your life is treating you good? So feel free, guys, feel free to ask question. It's related on the subject. So today, and just update things because just 2 days ago, I never go to live streaming because I have a hectic schedule. So now I have time to share some things with you guys. And of course, I have to share some of my um, things that I got yesterday. So, and first baby, first baby that I had. So yeah, I want to share that with you guys, the moment that I got that thing. Okay, so Anna Maria. So Anna Maria, where are you from, Anna Maria? I camera down. Jagamatan. Where are you from? I'm very I'm very familiar about these people as something that and also Rocky. Show your feet. You want me to see my feet? Nicholas live was where you from, guys? I don't know what country you from. Really? Are you from America? Joe, why you said no, that is rude. What do you mean that is rude? Oh, I just, merci beaucoup. French. What's good morning? I know that's, merci beaucoup. Merci beaucoup. Thank you very much, right? Oh yeah. Yeah. Anyway, it's okay for your concern, Joe, that well, I don't really pay attention those kind of people because, the way that they ask is not really, is not really good. So no time for answering that kind of question. So I appreciate that. So I just wonder. I thought that was me, but you know, to make it sure, guys, to make it sure. So how is the situation in your country, guys? Particularly Joe. How is it, America? And you know what? I was reading, a show. That. Hold on, guys. Hold on. I want to share this with you guys, particularly for those American. Hold on. If I save that video, but I just let you know about what they says. Okay, hold on. Here. Okay.
An executive order on Monday that requires commercial truck drivers in the United States to be proficient in English. This comes just weeks after a video of a truck driver went viral after he was given a literacy test.
Couldn't believe it. Going through Arkansas, I thought it was a joke. Got stopped at the way station in Arkansas and was handed a piece of paper. It says, "Can you read and write English?" I said, "Yes, sir, I sure can." He goes, "Can you read this?" So I read it to myself, and I was like, "Okay."
Is this true?
He goes, "No, no, no.
I'm
read it
doing
out loud
good,
for me."
Scott.
So I read it out loud for him, and it was short and sweet, no problem. He goes, "Now, can you write this for me on this paper?" And I did, and there was a whole bunch of people that had already written on it. And I was actually witnessing people in handcuffs that had been pulled in, and I was like, "Well, what's going on?" And he goes, "Oh, we've come across now that if you cannot read or write in English, that it's a $5,000 fine, and if you have a company in Arkansas that employs people that can't read or write in English, it's a $10,000 fine paid on the spot. If you cannot pay it, you're automatically arrested and lose your license." What a shocker.
At the time of this video, there was no clear verification that officials in Arkansas were in fact conducting roadside English tests for truckers. A spokesperson for the Arkansas Highway Police, a division of the Arkansas Department of Transportation, stated via email on March 19th.
Okay. Yeah, because for me that's crazy. That's why, guys. Most of us, I just very that's why I share with those American, because here's the thing that is this true, but I don't really go on that, but when I read that, sometimes we must be aware of people posting online, especially YouTube, because sometimes fake news, so we must be aware of what's real and what's not real, because for me it's not, I don't, I don't think that that's a big, that's a Nazi thing, because what if that truck driver, that's the only way that he can feed his family. So like my people, there's a lot of Filipino drivers, good drivers, well skilled, okay, but when it comes to writing and reading, they're poor about that, okay. So same thing, different, same thing with other country, right? The only thing that we, when I was young, I thought that most of America, no, it's not. So especially on the countryside, okay? So some they have, they have less education, some they have, degree holder. But it's not really a right thing, if you can't barely, you can't barely uh you know write and read, that's the time that you have to stop. That's why, guys, I it's a I don't really like, sometimes, I have to analyze first, is this true or what? Because sometimes nowadays some people, this just making fun, this making fun of this, to destroy people reputation, and put blame on the people that the person never say something, never did, to create that kind of law. So that's unacceptable, guys. So it's just like, oh wow, even though, when I read that, so there's a what if, that's a big problem for those American, that that's the source of your income. It suddenly, there's a law that that's crazy, that's insane, that can be true. Oh, what's your favorite color? Actually, red, my favorite color. You are not getting a truck driver permit if you can't write. Yeah, because I don't really put down those people that has less education, but they are very well skilled. All right. So it's not the, well, sometimes, you can see that, some, people educated, they have degree, but look at them, they are jobless. In Japanese, they putalo. That's in Japanese term of jobless. So, and then there's some people that, they're less education, but they well skilled, so they got, work. Because sometimes, some people that has, like white collar job, and then if you're gonna go to the blue collar job, most of white collar job, they refuse to work with the blue collar job. So that's scary. But anyway, guys, a good thing that Scott, you confirmed that it's not true. So thank you, because I have also family in the States that work as, a truck driver, but truck driver, that's a good, pay, you know especially if you go state to state. And the uh, last week I went to Subways. Okay, we just ordered. There's a white American. Visited here. I think the one of the lady that he with, because it's a family. There's a mother, and then brother, and then I don't know if they're the nephews or the siblings of the girl. And then I can see that they are what do you call that, they are not city people. Okay, I think they just only way that they come here in Manila, to meet that American American man. And then I'm so glad that he gave the instruction, because I order also in Subway sandwich. And then he gave the details, how to eat this, he picked the good food for the family of the girl. And then Frank is sitting there, because I'm the one who ordered our sandwich. And then Frank wearing, Chicago t-shirt. And then he said, oh, you're from Chicago. And then he said, I was surprised that he said, I'm a truck driver. And then he never tells to Frank that what state he from. But, I asked Frank, is that, truck driver, they good, they get a good pay? And then Frank said, yeah, they are. So it's just like, I'm so overwhelmed to observe him that, he asked the server, you have to put this, what, they teach, because I can see in myself that, they're not really aware of that. So I'm glad that he teach. And then, he picked some food that it's really healthy, in Subway. So that's a good thing, because, I also Bruce Minecraft videos. Hello, Bruce. And guys, hello, good morning. How are you people? So and also there's some Western people also that when they come here and visit the Philippines, I saw also that they treated some, I don't know if their girlfriend or wife, or it's not really good, but you know that truck driver, the American truck driver, is really good treating the family of the girl. And some, I can see that they ask what do you want, so they confuse what food they want to order, because they don't know. Because in Subway you have to say what menu, and then what toppings or vegetable you gotta adds on that, right? But they don't know. But it's just like I just observe. But I feel I feel happy that some of my people, particular Filipino, was treated well with the particularly American. So that's nice to see that they will have a successful relationship with the Filipina. If the Filipina, especially the family, that's one thing, guys. That's a big factor for those Western people. It doesn't really matter where you're from, as long as you're Western people, you treat their family well, because it's that's a big point to a Filipina, that you care about her family. Okay, I get the cold cut combo on Italian herb bread. Actually, I prepare, I like the uh, white white Italian bread. Actually, when I order to Subway, I always order the Italian BMT. And yesterday, actually, we went to SM, because SM Bicotan, they have Subway there. It's near to my place. So before I fetch my baby, my new baby, so we go there. And then first I was, or before I ordered the roast beef. But I complained that the roast beef is, I don't really taste the roast beef. I don't know in the state how does the roast beef Subway taste. But here it's just like they just boil it, and I don't really taste the butter, or the herbs that they spread, or put on the roast beef. I don't. And then I thought that they changed for that. And then I tell to Frank, Frank is still the same, taste less. So Frank always order the Italian BMT with extra bacon. He likes that. But me, I don't like the Italian BMT with bacon, because that's too much fats. But he has to, I have to tell the server that they have to toast the bacon, so that less fats. And then when I eat, taste less. I don't really taste the roast beef. I expected that they change, but maybe I go to um, Italian BMT. And you know what, guys? We ordered two. Okay, and I found out that the roast beef, the price is 390 pesos. And then the Italian BMT is 370. And then I order cookies. Imagine, guys, I pay about 900 pesos. And then, I told Frank, we have to go to Subways because, most of the time I go to the bank, I always bring home uh, Subway sandwich. But, I told, oh my goodness, that's too expensive, pricey. So I told him, we have to less ourselves, to order Subway. So if we order in yeah, Frank likes the oatmeal raisin, but me, I like the double chocolate, and then the chocolate chips. That's my. And then I told him, if we're gonna order to Burger King the waffle with cheese, it's just only 500, half of the price. And then I told him, sometimes we don't, we have to less ourselves, to order Subway. Because imagine that, 900 pesos, I can bought that, how many kilos of meat? 3 to 4. 3 to 4, guys, 3 to 4 kilos. How many days I gonna eat that? 4 or 5 days, because just only me and him. So it's not really, it's not really, well, Subway is good, but especially now that the inflation, and you know what, guys, the dollar, US dollar here, it's so 2 weeks ago the exchange rate is 56.30. 2 weeks ago, guys, and now is 55.15. And I don't know, maybe maybe next month it might 54, because it affect also that once the economy in the United States is not really good, the dollar here is the rate is goes down. But if the economy of the United States is good, oh my goodness, the dollar rates here is up. So that's one thing that I noticed. So I told Frank, no. We don't want, because actually, actually Subway is a good sandwich. Okay. So how many, we ordered that for, sometimes we ordered Subway, 4 times a month. Oh my goodness. So I have the, wait a minute. Wait. We have to aware of. Okay, so this week the foot, yeah, the foot long here, Scott, the beef, okay, the beef, but hold on, let me.
The force was not administering tests.
the the Italian BMT is 370, and then the roast beef is uh 390. How much is that in dollar? Let's see. $370 divided by, let's say, 56. So the Italian BMT, the foot long, $6.60. All right. No, $6.61, because I round off. So 390. So the roast beef, the price here, if I gonna convert to dollar, is here, the price here is $6.97. Yeah. No, The Italian BMT is, yeah, it's 370. But we add, there's a food expanded value added tax. We have to pay that